roaring fire, pile of scran, the haggis is on the boil the now, the chairs are out, and we've got loads of glasses for the drams. How nice is this? I'm Ali Heather. I'm a writer and presenter, and I've always been big into promoting kind of Scottish language and culture. Burns Night is Scotland's national day. Robert Burns is our national poet. He lived in the 1700s and wrote all these big celebrated poems and songs. At New Year's, all around the world, people sing Auld Lang Syne, which Burns wrote. Really, it's a chance to celebrate your Scottish identity. So you get a lot of Burns nights in Scotland, but also there's 2,500 celebrated around the world. The day I'd get my pals together to celebrate a wee Burns supper, like just a dead informal one with the mates, and the best place to do it is up at my cousin Finn's bagpipe workshop. They've got a big beautiful space and a big fire to gather folk round. In the 1700s, Dunkeld was meant to be that meeting point between Lowland and Highland cultures. And Burns came here, got a great record of Burns coming and just visiting a pal. And while he was here, he heard about a great local fiddler called Nathaniel Gow. And his pal was like, oh, do you want to meet him? He stays nearby. There's a statue of him in the town, Neil. In the mid-1700s, Scotland's going through this massive change. And all the folk culture would have died out had it not been for people like Burns collecting the folk songs and turning it into modern poetry, getting it written down. And guys like Neil Gow, he was a great collector of like the traditional melodies, the traditional tunes. He was a great proponent of them. So we're nipping it at Dunkeld, getting ready for the Burns supper. So we're needing haggis, obviously, a bit of scran, and some nice whiskey and candles. And Dunkeld's got it all, because it's quite posh. So this is a steading that my cousin Finn and his dad Hamish took over maybe like a decade or two ago to keep doing their handmade bagpipes. And they're both great tradition bearers. What they do here is literally just hand make every single part of the pipe. So the only machines they use are lathes, everything else, the reeds, the stocks, it's all made here by hand by these two guys that just know the instrument inside out. They're two of the best players of the pipes in Scotland. Hamish himself is in the Scottish Traditional Music Hall of Fame, which is pretty cool. All right.
Hi.
How's it going?
Not bad, nice to see you.
And you.
A couple of things to note about the bagpipes. One is that they're all throughout the world. So like kind of loads of indigenous cultures have bagpipes. We just were the best at marketing them. Just culturally, they were a thing for mourning, a thing for celebration, a way of giving us entertainment when we didn't have Netflix. And I think in terms of the Burns side of things, I mean, he used many melodies and traditional Scottish melodies that he would have heard on fiddles or on bagpipes.
What I'm talking about tonight is friendship, because Burns has this reputation as like the great romantic, and he deserves that. You know, songs like A Fond Kiss and I Walk an O are so attuned to love. But also, when you actually go through his work, I think friendship is there just as strongly. He thought love was the way of getting over the fears of tomorrow, a way of kind of cheating poverty, because when you're in love, you're rich. But he also saw the same for friendship. He thought, like, the joys of the heart are what we're rich in, he wrote to one of his friends. And so long as you have love and friendship, you'll be okay. And at the start of Tam O'Shanter, one of his big poems, how's it go? "Tay our tale, a market night, Tam got planted, unca right, fast by an ingle," that's a fire, "fast by an ingle, bleased and finely, with reemin swats," that's beer, "reemin swats that drank divinely, and at his elbow, Suitor Johnny, his ancient, trusty, drouthy crony, Tam loved him like a very brother. They had been fou for weeks together. So it's a jokey line, like they've been fou for weeks together, they've been drunk together all the time. But Tam loved him like a brother. I think that's a great line. And that's right at the core of the poem that Burns thought was his best work and is still read like 1,000 times a year at Burns suppers. Burns celebrates friendship as a way to elevate us out of the everyday struggles, and that's what I'm talking about tonight in the Immortal Memory, because I'm getting all my pals round. Fast by an angle, blazing finely.
I've only ever heard it, so it sounds, I feel like it.
I've heard it before, but
Oh, beautiful, that's for sure. I think good Burns suppers have that kind of ceilidh culture where everyone's getting involved and there's no one that's better than anyone else, which is very kind of Burnsian. We've got wee Oliver, my nephew. He will bring the haggis out, a very prestigious role. Callum, my good pal, he'll be playing the Highland pipes to greet the haggis into the room. Taylor, who's a great actor, is going to deliver the address to the haggis, which is a big set piece. I have a rather beautifully authored Immortal Memory, which should bring a few tears to the eyes, and everyone else will chime in with bits of poems, stories, songs around the fire, and it's just dead informal, and you want to create an environment that everyone feels, you know, safe and comfortable to join in. Well, the great thing about Burns' legacy is it's always been more than just him. Like, he carried so much culture from his era and put it into his work, and we're celebrating not just him, we're celebrating the people that came before him. Like, if I'm raising a toast to Burns, it's to thank him for giving us an excuse to get together and giving us stuff that's good enough that it still rings down through the ages, and themes that are still relevant today. So, aye, to Rabbie for bringing us together in winter. Mate, that's great.